welcome to GRTS News. In our headlines tonight, the Vice President receives food items from the United Arab Emirates meant for flood victims. NAWEC signs a multi-million-dollar electricity expansion project with an Indian company. The National Sports Council vows to continue its probe into the Gambia Football Federation despite FIFA's warning to halt the investigations. And young people in Zimbabwe express optimism that the new president would change their future for the better. These and other stories coming ahead in the next half an hour. I am Jane Opajalo Marong. His Excellency President Adama Barrow has performed Friday prayers at the Kanifing Mosque. The Imam of the mosque extended gratitude to the President for taking time to pray at the mosque. Mamadou Jallo reports.
In his latest outreach to communities in the Greater Banjul area, President Adama Barrow performed Friday prayers at Mahdi Nuru Mosque in Kanifing. The prayer service was led by Imam Sufian Drame, who earlier in his sermon said it was a great honor to receive the head of state in his mosque. He prayed for peace and stability in the Gambia and for Allah's blessings on President Barrow. After the prayer, Alhaji Silla, a member of the board of trustees of the mosque, which also houses a boarding school, used the rare opportunity to appeal to the president to help them acquire a bigger piece of land to extend the Islamic school. In response, President Barrow expressed gratitude to the elders for their prayers and urged them to continue to pray for him and the country as fervently as they did during the political impasse. The President stressed that the sole purpose of such an outreach is to engage with the ordinary people and seek prayers from the faithful. He described religion as a pillar of human existence and urged Muslims to be steadfast in their religion. Responding to their pleas for land, President Barrow advised them to go through the legal channels by applying through the Ministry of Lands for an allocation to expand this boarding school. The President left for Fajara and was seen off by a crowd of well-wishers who had gathered outside the mosque to cheer the president. Mamadou Jallo, GRTS News.
The Vice President Friday received the consulate of the United Arab Emirates in Dakar, who was at the State House to present a donation of food items to the country's flood victims. Khadija Jallo has more on that.
His Excellency is the Consular UAE office in Dakar.
The Red Crescent of the United Arab Emirates is the latest to provide assistance to flood victims in the country, presenting the consignment of food items to the National Disaster Management Agency through the Vice President, Her Excellency Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang. The United Arab Emirates Consular in Dakar expressed his country's commitment to support the Gambian people.
We decide to give the help for great people of Gambia. That's why we are here to deliver this help for the people, the great people of Gambia, and also we will help people of Gambia in other fields also, coordinating with Mr. Dahaba inshallah later in the future, and also if there is any help, any things we can provide it, we are happy to provide any help for people of Gambia.
Imam Sidia Sise and Cherno Dabo of the Gambia Islamic Union all hailed the supportive ventures made by Emirates for the Gambia through its embassy in Dakar in building mosques, boreholes, and providing food items during Ramadan, amongst others. A significant intervention for needy communities is always welcomed, particularly in the event of natural disaster. The Executive Director, National Disaster Management Agency, Sana Dahaba, said the intervention is the first of its kind to come from the Middle East as aid for local disaster victims.
The UAE is the first country to respond to our call. So we are here to witness the presentation of 1,225 bags of rice, 1,225 5-liter gallons of oil, and 5 kilo, 1,225.
The Vice President, on behalf of the government and people of the Gambia, expressed appreciation to the government and people of the United Arab Emirates for the gesture.
So on behalf of His Excellency, on my own behalf, we thank you very much. We appreciate this gesture It is a big gesture. We will put it in the history that when our people were in need, we had friends, brothers and sisters who came. So please convey our heartiest congratulations and appreciation to your government through you, Your Excellency, and through your consultant, Brother Ahmad.
Vice President Tambajang added that the Gambia needs development partners like United Arab Emirates to help achieve the country's development goals. The consignments of goods were finally presented to the National Disaster Management Agency boss for onward distribution to beneficiaries. Khadija Tujalo reporting for GRTS News.
The National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, Friday signed a $22.5 million electricity expansion project with an Indian company called K. The project, to be completed in 18 months, will serve communities in the Greater Banjul area. Falilu ML Janko reports.
A $22.5 million electricity expansion project in the Greater Banjul area was signed on Friday at the National Water and Electricity Company's head office in Kanifing. The agreement between NAWEC and an Indian company, KEI, is expected to kickstart the project, which is set to be completed in 18 months. The massive project, according to officials, will cover an estimated 80 communities in the West Coast region and parts of the Lower River region. Presiding over the ceremony, the Director General of NAWEC, Baba Fatajo, said NAWEC has always been concerned with the access gap created due to lack of extension of the network to some communities.
We are particularly excited with the expansion of the network for the first time to several communities in Kiang. The project will cover all the villages on the Trans-Gambia Highway in Kiang, extending from Kalaji. This is particularly a cause for celebration as the people of Kiang were systematically marginalized in a deliberate exclusionary policy by the former government. Our moral obligation of providing access to all areas and strata of our society is consistent with the Barrow government's desire to ensure social justice and inclusion across the entire territory of our country.
The Vice Chairman of the Indian company, Pawan Jain, thanked the Gambia government for giving them the opportunity to carry out this very important electricity project.
Gambia and India, more or less having the similar geographical natures and environment, and considering our rich expertise and knowledge in this field of the distribution projects in NABEC, Exim Bank of India, and the Government of India has given us the chance to work with you.
Shola Joyner, the Vice Chairman of NAWEC Board of Directors, said they will leave no stone unturned in making sure that electricity problem becomes a thing of the past. Momodu Onjai, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Energy, said this is a manifestation of electricity giants' efforts in tackling the challenges confronting the institution. Permanent Secretary to Ministry of Energy, Momodu Sise, says that the problems currently being faced today are as a result of mistakes made during previous years, and the new government is determined to provide a permanent solution.
We are satisfied with the NAWEC approach to program and NAWEC strategic planning and efforts that they are making so that we don't repeat the wrong past. And that is very critical. We are into this problem today because of a wrong and painful mistake we have committed in the past. That is still what is dogging us today. This government and this new management is determined to change that. There will be pressure, there will be urgency and hasty, but in public policy you don't put yourself in a position of panic, because once you get panic you will make mistake. Gambians to be patient with this new management. Give us the chance. We have our timeline, and as we have tracked and attested by our external partners, this roadmap and this plan, we are on course to seeing very tangible results.
It is another huge step by NAWEC and government in building a sustainable platform in addressing the country's energy needs. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Falilu ML Janko.
The National Assembly Select Committee on Financial Public Accounts Thursday continued its tour of public institutions as part of its oversight functions. Senabu Jain went along and filed in this report.
present at this parliamentary meeting are from different public enterprises. Here they gathered before the lawmakers to declare their concerns and matters hindering their institutions. The open forum allowed representatives from different institutions to voice their concerns. The managing director of the Gambia Ports Authority was the first to suggest an extension of the date for the delivery of the financial year report and accumulated data for 2015 that is due to be presented in March 2018, including the financial dates for all paperwork occurred in 2016 to 2017. Which is set for conveyance in June 2018. Mr. Tambedu asked for a deferral until December 2018 to enable enough time to clear their backlog.
By June 2020, then you would have 6 months after, at least we will clear the backlog. By the end of your term, definitely for this parliamentary year, we hope that all or most of the PAs would have cleared their backlog.
Many institutions opted for the same extension to compile their paperwork in time for the proposed deadline.
Well, definitely your audited accounts should be conclusive for 2017, for the backlog to come to an end by December 2018, I'm sorry.
The emphasis here was on timely delivery. For the parliamentarian, effective management is required in order to end the backlog of documents detailing financial dealings of the institutions who are running over time to meet their various itineraries. All suggestions were heard by Halifa Saleh, who ultimately outlined that together up to 6 institutions raised the same matter regarding deadlines for their auditing period.
Analysis of the situation, and then we see how we can work together to do something about it, to know that we are not dealing with an ordinary situation, we are really dealing with an emergency situation.
The National Assembly member for Latukuna Sabaji, Sekou Marong, noted that public enterprises constitute 51.4% of the national GDP in the Gambia. Alaji Jawara disagreed with the proposed extension of the timeline for report delivery suggested by public enterprises.
Honestly speaking, we have attended seminars in other countries, and I think we have learned a lot in those countries, in the sense that their PECs submit their reports as the law stated in those countries. So what about we? Can we not do that as they are doing it? So I don't think there is a room for excuse in this.
Engage in discussions that lasted for 2 hours, yet institutions went home barely satisfied, as the National Assembly agreed to maintain the 3-month deadline. Public enterprises and institutions will now have to work the extra mile to fulfill the requirements and timelines granted by the National Assembly Financial and Public Accounts Committee. I am Zainabu Jan for GRTS News.
Meanwhile, the Public Accounts and Public Enterprises Committees of the National Assembly Friday held a day's retreat following a site visit to the Ministry of Finance. Kadiyatu Juara reports.
At the retreat, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Mariam Jack Dentin, said the site visit was meant to know what was going on at the Ministry of Finance and to properly view their documents. The Honorable Speaker noted that the visit will acquaint the skills of the Auditor General for proper working standard and help them to plan to the statements and government accounts.
We paid a site visit to the Ministry of Finance and also the Accountant General's Department, so that we could have a proper view of what is going on there. And basically, as you will recall, I explained the reasons, or one of the main reasons why we were there, because we were having contradictory statements from the Auditor General and the Office of the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs. So I think it was worthwhile going there and we were able to understand substantive issues affecting the Office of the Accountant General.
Deputy Chair Park Pek Sidia S. Jata advised officials of the Ministry of Finance to computerize all their documents for future needs.
I'm sure our visit is going to help them improve the way they are dealing with us. I think that is very important.
The subject matter specialist Abdullah Cham noted that this site visit will help both the ministry and its partners to have better understanding of the various issues and will help deputies in the implementation processes. In a separate development, a presentation was held at the National Assembly where the UNDP presented a document to the deputies following the 3-day collaborative leadership and dialogue retreat for selected National Assembly members held on the 16th to 19th November 2017. Speaking at the presentation ceremony, the Speaker, Honorable Mariam Jack Denton, highlighted the importance of the training. She said the training has benefited the participants. She further noted that the retreat has helped develop new relationship and collaboration between the UNDP and National Assembly members. UNDP Director Lamin Momodumane said they are happy to be associated with the Gambia's development processes.
My final word relates to the theme. The theme of this retreat is collaborative, I would call it transformational collaborative leadership. I myself, I have learned a lot since I've been involved in these retreats about transformational leadership and collaborative leadership.
He said the retreat was a success. He went on to advise the participants to be more proactive in their deliberations. Yakumba Jaite, a nominated member, said the retreat was an important platform for the participants. It is the latest program being organized by the National Assembly and its partners meant to help in improving the capacity of members. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Khadija Tujuwara.
Women and child rights advocates have developed a child safeguarding tool at a recent seminar in Kololi. Seydou Kamara has more on that.
This two-day forum on child safeguarding and safe programming is meant to promote sustainable solutions to problems affecting children and ensure children's rights are met. The National Coordinator of Child Protection Alliance, Njunu Drame, spoke on the work and initiatives for children to create a better world.
And as you know, communication is everything. Whether it's verbal or it's non-verbal or it's pictorial, it's very important because it also helps in raising awareness. It also helps to enhance, so to speak, the protective environment for children. So we hope that all of us would give our best in this workshop.
A child activist from Senegal, Maimouna Ndoye, called for collaboration to galvanize efforts in ensuring a safe environment for children, especially in schools.
The aim of that workshop was to facilitate the development of code of conduct to have safe schools. And this workshop is the next step. What we will do, as they said, is just to do together. We will not show you how to do it, but we'll do it together because we want to learn from you.
The program officer of CPA, Khadijatu Jallow, highlighted the importance of the seminar and objectives she said are meant to ensure that children's rights are met and protected.
Help CPA and its member organizations be able to develop communication materials, so they will be living here with tools and they will have the skills on how to develop communication materials. As a civil society organization, you know, we do advocacy.
She, however, called for vigilance in protecting children and the environment to safeguard them from all forms of violence, and to additionally seek innovative approaches to create breakthroughs in the way children are raised. Communication is a very important tool that can raise awareness and enhance protective environments for children. The CPA understands this amidst efforts to create a viable platforms for the communication of issues affecting children. Seydou Camara, GRTS News.
The Minister of Higher Education, Badara Ejuf, recently led a delegation implementing the University of the Gambia Faraba Banta project to the Vice President. A news release from the ministry said the team presented the UTG Faraba Banta campus project, which showed that ongoing construction works are at an advanced stage. Madam Fatmata Jallo Tambajang reaffirmed the government's commitment to the successful realization of the project. Pan-Arab Consulting Engineers, PACE, the company building the site, said it has a skills training program to enable Gambians to take charge of the edifice upon completion. The Minister for Higher Education renewed the need for concerted efforts to mobilize resources to meet the cost of the project. Young aspiring models have been gearing up for the upcoming Miss Nawetan Brikama 2017. By Ibrahim Cham attended the rehearsals of the young beauty queens and filed in this report.
The 9 young ladies representing different football teams are on the race to be crowned Miss Nawetan 2017. This is the biggest and most prestigious talent event and beauty pageant in the West Coast, annually staged in the region's largest metropolis and municipal center, Brikama. With different segments to be showcased, from cultural, casual and evening wears, each one of these models has her own identity and charisma to prove to a diverse panel of judges. Each will compete to demonstrate what it takes to be a youth ambassador representing a worthy cause. Here we encounter one of the models aspiring to clinch the major accolade. Hadijate explained what inspired her to be part of the beauty pageant.
My talent is very unique. I know I can win this competition. This is why I am here. It's something big given to me by a particular team, so I don't have to let them down. This is why I am here, and I am confident in myself that I will win the crown.
Kumuna Jabate, who heads the training sessions, emphasized that it will take more than just beauty to be crowned Miss Nawetan Brikama.
We believe that in this kind of competitions, we can know the active youths that can represent us anywhere. So we believe this is the best way to do it. This is why we are bringing this. It's not just a Miss competition, it's Miss and Miming competition. We are trying to showcase both beauty and brains. This is not just beauty itself, it's beauty and inner beauty. You can have the beauty, but inside you cannot do it. This is why what I mean by inner beauty is what you possess in.
It will add a great impact in the fashion industry in Brikama, because we are looking forward to so many things to be happening in Brikama. You know, to be exposed, that's a big thing, in fact, you know.
Brikama, a town which appears to produce one of the brightest media personalities in the Gambia, will be grooming a new batch of talents and inspiring models through its pageantry competition, aiming to motivate young people to become responsible personalities. By Ibrahim Cham, GRTS Entertainment.
We'll take our first commercial break now. The sports news is next.
dama wax ne ndaanaan ni réew mi la ñu bëgg a oo kana leen di oo Gamtel Gamtel a oote ci lan Gamtel nee na kër gu nekk war nga am internet ndax nag internet mooy dox soxla ji mooy dox dox ji mooy wax ji kon ñëpp war nañoo am internet waaye nag internet boo koy uti da nga koy uti ca fa nga ko war a utee foo ko war a utee ci ndeyu ñëpp ki nga xam ne moo boot communication yëpp moo jur ñëpp mooy kan Gamtel nee na promotion bu mag laa leen amal promotion boo xam ne bii delloo leen njukkal rek lay doon ADSL 2 plus internet dama ne internet bari na waaye bii internet la ñu wax kana ko indi Gamtel nee na nu may def ak yéen damay def ak yéen nag free installation téléphone line boo ko bëggee fii ba décembre ñu defal la free installation doo fay dara waaye ADSL installation free doo fay dara yow daal jëndal sa modem rek toog ñu defaral la ba mu baax lii nga xam ne mooy 512 kilobits bi daan jar 1005 yóbbu nañ ko ba $1000 ndax yéen waaye dama wax ne ñi nga xam ne ñoo fa nekkoon nag sax fa kenn fàttewu leen ndax nag ko la rek ginnaaw lay féete ma ne dala nga daan fay benn weer fayal ñetti weer ñu defal la 20% discount fayal juróom benn weer ñu defal la 30% discount waaye at nag ñu defal la 40% discount kana mun di Gamtel oote na ñëpp jóg gaaw leen de promotion bi ñaari weer rek lay jël novembre ba décembre jeex ñoo emale ko fa rek daw leen bu leen ko kenn nettali uti leen ko dama ne jóg leen mooy ndey internet yi de moo tax ñuy wax de ki tax nga tax bu taxee ba nga tax foo ko rombee ne ko yaa tax ma tax te ki tax nga tax mooy kan mooy Gamtel.
lu bees a bees lu bees a bees
ne Moji Fori
hey lu bees a bees lu bees a bees
ne Moji Fori
hey ma waxati
ñëwal
aka sakal loolu
ñëwal
aka neex loolu
ñëwal
neex na ci panket
ñëwal
neex na ci mburu
ñëwal
neex na ci tampala
ñëwal
tey Moji Fori
ñëwal
aka sakal loolu
ñëwal
lay lay la laa
Moji Fori
xolal cas ma yëkkati
mbaa attan ngeen ko Moji neex na ci panket neex ci mburu Moji Fori baax ci tapala ba baax ci seen pour
Moji Fori
réew mi jëndal leen ko foriñ bi dafa neex lool te sakkan lool
Moji Fori
Moji bu mu jëndee ba tey bonul
Moji Fori moom lañu taamu te sakkan lool Moji Fori ak a neex jëndi leen ko
yéen ñu doon ut foriñ bu baax foriñ bu sakkan demal tey ca Moustapha J Diallo and Sons ca 61 OAU Boulevard bi tey it nga teg sa téléphone call leen ci 4227 566 wala it 92 44 331 kon wala it nga dem ci seen makkaan ba nekk Pictine waa kër Moustapha J Diallo and Sons.
Welcome back to GRTS News. The chairman of the National Sports Council has reaffirmed the council's stance to continue investigating the Gambia Football Federation. Bori Dabo made the disclosure to members of the press a day after the World Football Governing Body FIFA warned the NSC to halt the investigations.
The National Sports Council position with regards to our action to suspend the current executive of the Gambia Football Federation and FIFA's response to this move. We would like to inform you that we are in no way reluctant to engage with the suspended executive as proposed by FIFA in their letter to the Council. However, we will not rescind our decision nor compromise the principles of good governance in sports. The Sports Council is not and will not compromise nor abandon the current principles of accountability and transparency. It is crucial for all of us Gambians to realize that this process is set up to put a definitive end to the constant allegations of mismanagement of public funds and the numerous wrongs meted out to stakeholders in our football. This process is not limited to football, but I must tell you that with the serious complaints and allegations against the current GFF, the Sports Council cannot ignore these issues. This is a national duty and a call that genuine Gambian in the new Gambia will be interested in addressing. That is what this council is set to do with the institution of an independent body, highly credible, to look into these issues brought forward by stakeholders in our football. The Gambia will not allow any individual or group to flout the financial rules and regulations of this land without being dealt with impunity. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever and whenever the Sports Council as a regulatory body identifies wrongdoings, it is going to investigate it.
Well, you can follow this story in our subsequent news bulletins. We'll be back with news from outside the Gambia right after this break.
Carry your bank everywhere you go with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Take control of your account anytime, anywhere with ease and security. Do your banking the smart way with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Check your account balance, transfer funds, buy now with cash power and mobile credit, withdraw money from our ATM and POS, and pay your bills, request for a Verve card or Visa card, check your Forex rates, and do so much more in just a few steps. Download the GT Bank Gambia mobile app today from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Do your banking the smart way. Do your banking now with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Terms and conditions apply. GT Bank, wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Welcome back to GRTS News. Many educated young Zimbabweans who had lost hope of ever becoming gainfully employed have renewed optimism following the departure of Robert Mugabe. They have high expectations that incoming President Emerson Mnangagwa can change their fortunes. CGTN's Farai Makotuya has more on that.
As a generator drones outside a shop nearby because there hasn't been power here for 2 days, Talent Mushuchi and his friends try to get through another idle day. The 23-year-old wishes he knew what it felt like to get a paycheck at the end of the month. Because so many companies where he could have found employment after finishing school have shut down, he's never had a job. His friend, Blessing Mashingaidze, has started repairing tires to try and get by. It's a trade with ups and downs, but more of the latter in recent times.
I still live with my parents, which is something I had hoped I wouldn't be doing at my age. I don't make enough to move out on my own or start my own family. That would just add more problems to the ones I already have.
Like many, Talent hopes the misery of Robert Mugabe's Zimbabwe will be wiped away under the new administration.
There's a lot of substance abuse here because the youths are idle. The new government should reopen industries so that we can find something productive to do. That's my desire.
What Emerson Mnangagwa says when he takes his oath of office on Friday will be telling.
Who is going to be responsible for the finance ministry? Because that's where everything starts and stops. And number 4, what exactly is the plan with regard to liquidity? Because that's a more immediate need. We need to see the banks having money. And that to me would be a priority number 1. We need serious liquidity today.
There's no doubt Zimbabwe's new leader has his work cut out for him if he's to stop the economic decline and lift millions out of grinding poverty. He's already promised to be a servant of the people and to work with everyone to make life better here. Farai Mwakutuya, CGTN, Harare, Zimbabwe.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. The Vice President has received a donation from the United Arab Emirates meant for flood victims. NAWEC has signed a multi-million-dollar electricity expansion project with an Indian company. The National Sports Council has vowed to continue its probe into the Gambia Football Federation despite FIFA's warning to halt the investigations. And young people in Zimbabwe have expressed optimism that the new president would change their future for the better. Well, viewers, that was all in this edition of the news. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Join us again at 10 p.m. for another edition of GRTS News.